You know what, man? Don't judge me. Please don't judge me. So I'm editing this video that you're about to watch, and I realized that, well, for starters, it's a very old video. Not very old, but about 7 months old. It's a podcast that I recorded with Frank in June of 2023. Time flies, I know, right? And it's got so many errors. This was the first time I recorded the podcast in this format, doing both video and audio at the highest possible quality I could execute. And while I'm proud of this work, there's so many errors that comes with it, of course. Growth pains, learning pains, and all of that. So I just wanted to warn you that there's gonna be snippets where the audio might be off, where it might be missing. There's some cut parts simply because the production quality of it was just bad. So just bear with that. And aside from that, it was a great episode. Frank and I had an amazing discussion about his life in Zimbabwe, how he came to Russia, and how his life has been in Russia so far. I hope you enjoy as much as I enjoyed it, and let's hop right on. 3, 2, 1. Mr. Frank,
how are you, my guy?
How are you, man?
I'm happy to be here with you.
Yeah, happy.
Speaking to you, I am very happy. Before we came here, I had a lot of things in my head, but
yeah,
I'm so happy.
What did you have in your head?
Man, I was thinking a lot of things. I have many clients on my list in the queue. It's just today's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's always there.
It's hell.
It's hell.
Walk us through your normal weekday, like your Monday or your Tuesday, or even today. Walk us through your day. What does that look like?
Hey, to tell you the truth, it's so difficult to be me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't lie, because when you speak about Monday, I have to deal with all clients that sent money or that submitted some works on our platforms on Saturday and Sunday, because Saturday and Sunday we only work with people that are working from Russia within Russia. Mm-hmm. But all the internationals, I will have to do that work on Monday. So it means Monday, Tuesday, I'm busy. Why? Because since I'm working for the work for Saturday and Sunday on Monday, so I'm going to have to push some Monday work to Tuesday. Ooh, Tuesday as well. Backlog. Plus, I will have as well to live my own life, to go for sport, gym. See how the stomach is growing up.
I guess we'll get into that as time goes. I actually did want to touch on that, but a bit later. So for now, I just wanted you to walk us through Frank's story. What does Frank's story look like for him to be here today? What does your path look like?
Hey, for Frank to be here, to be honest, it's actually a big journey. When people see what's happening right now on the ground, from what I'm about to say, it's difficult. You tell me what you think as well. So this Frank you see here is different from the Frank that was there 10 years back.
Start from as early as possible.
As early as possible. I grew up in a place that is not like a city, a big city. It's like, what is it called? There's growth points,
Points.
That's where I grew up. Like, it's called Chiromanzo in Zimbabwe. So like my father works for these non-governmental organizations. They deal with donors from USA, UK, all these that will be coming to Africa to help, people that are. So anytime you can be told you're going to work in Gutu, in Harare, in what. So we grew up in that place. So being in that place, my brother, I was forced by the nature to adapt, to fit in a certain community. I've been in communities that are harsh and in good communities in the middle. So it's that thing where you're going to have to control yourself to know who you are when you go to a certain group of people. When you go to another group of people, being, how it is. So growing up there, grade 1 to grade 3, I was a day scholar at St. Joseph Primary School. We used to walk quite a long to go to school. Yeah, I wouldn't say things were so hard because I salute my parents. They did all what they could. But, it wasn't the life that I expected, but it was the great life because that's what was there and it was the best looking on what was happening those years.
Yeah.
So I then transferred to a boarding school at grade 4. Arriving there, my brother. Hey!
Can only imagine.
It's that thing where you come.
Boarding school, like 10 years old.
Yeah. Man, I went there with this mindset of like, people get bullied, If you come from a low background, studying with people because we're studying with people that come from rich backgrounds.
Yeah.
And you are there, it was hard, but my brother, when they say fake it and do you make it.
Yeah.
I had to create a lot of lies. Yeah, it happened. Some people, they don't even believe up to now. So grade 4, grade 5, I started liking business because of how I grew up. I grew up seeing my parents hustling, always making things to make the ends meet,
Yeah.
So I started selling SIM cards, selling CDs with some content that I can't discuss.
Yeah.
It sold out, Then people started liking. I started playing football. I was a footballer, like those who know, they can tell you.
Yeah.
Then volleyball, I became a captain for volleyball, grade 6. Grade 7, this one, for only those who know me, you can put a comment, they will tell you. So I put myself as a head boy. I've been a head boy.
What does that mean? What do you mean by that?
So I was given a list for the prefects and the head boy to go and give this other lady. She was our teacher. She was the one supposed to sign and put everything. Then I put my name on the list as the head boy. And my friends, I just put them as the prefects.
Yeah.
So, when I was saying this, no one could believe, but only the people that I studied with, they can testify in the comment section if they're here. Then after that, I did well on my final exams for primary school, but not very well. I wanted to go to these very good schools, It was difficult, but finally I got a chance to go to another high school called Gokomera High School.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mission, this Catholic school.
Mission school, yeah.
Hey, the life we lived there, my brother. That's why you see every day I'm always tired because they taught us like by 4 a.m. you have to be up.
Should be up.
Because at 4 a.m. the people in the street of Wall Street, what is it called? Those ones.
Yeah.
For finance, they will be already discussing, planning
Business.
life for you while you're sleeping. So we'd wake up so early, set life early at around 4, you clean up, you bath, they make sure everyone is clean. That's how we grew up, being clean. And I used to like swag, man. It's just being old.
Drip is king, man. Drip is king.
Yeah. Then, in high school, I started being more into business than ever.
Mm-hmm.
I was selling T-shirts to people in the whole province. T-shirts, caps, printing from the university, school IDs. The school IDs for my school, I was the one making them.
Oh, yeah? Oh, wow.
You see? So...
like the little cards that you put on the shirt, right? Yeah.
And the ones that we would use in sports events and all these Leo's inter-clubs and all these. I would do the certificates. I would do all the documents needed. And from that time, that's when I started seeing like reality is coming.
Yeah.
Because, when parents see that you're now making some money, they just pull a little,
They borrow themselves a bit.
So it was difficult, but it taught me to be so independent at a young age. By the time I finished high school, I just told myself, like, you know what? If I stay in my country, it's good, but it will limit me a bit. Because I believe that I'm better than Mark Zuckerberg.
Really?
Yeah, of course. I have better ideas.
Nah, self-belief is king.
Yeah, I know some people can criticize and all, but if you know my work and my art of work, and how I pull up my things, sometimes people blame like maybe your success is slow because of what you're doing.
Yeah.
But if you know how you started something and how you achieved something, and you measure your success from how you expected it, you can tell yourself that no, here I made a masterpiece.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
say
true.
myself, I do better than him.
No, facts.
Given chance and opportunity like he got,
you'll kill it.
I will kill it.
No, I get you. You know what? Before we carry on, I also went to a boarding school for high school, right? And I just thought about boarding school when you just mentioned it, just the waking up early and like having to hustle as early before the sun comes out. What was your boarding environment like, and how would you say it differed from the life you lived at home and possibly the life you live today? Because I know boarding is like, it's so different from life anywhere else on the planet, really.
Hey, man, the boarding life I lived, for me, it was harsh. I don't want to lie.
Yeah.
It's that boarding life where you are expected to do the best that no one can ever expect from you. If you do something, they say, no, this is not good. If you make your bed, there's inspection. They say you did shit. And for me, it's different maybe from your country. From my country, if a child does shit,
beaten.
Like so bad.
Yeah. There was actually,
I've been in all positions of being beaten. Not the positions for other things, but being beaten, So, my boarding life was so difficult. And in terms of food, it was so tough.
Yeah.
I remember the food we used to eat at Gokomere. Yeah, I think it was the years. Nowadays, I heard it's now good. It's now better.
It's now better, yeah.
For our times, I was tired of beans, my guy. I wouldn't
beans. I don't know what's with boarding schools and beans, man. Like beans and bread and sadza, like pap.
But if you haven't ate beans and pap or the cabbage from the boarding, I'm sure I would want to say it in another way, but try that food.
It goes in.
Yeah, you'll be so strong and you'll be sharp in the mind.
That's true. That's true. Hey, boarding diets are just so simple, but like when you look back at it, you're like, but you know what? It wasn't a bad meal. It wasn't a bad meal. No, I get you. And now walk us through how you ended up deciding to come to Russia. I get this question a lot, like from Russians that I meet on the roads, like, "Почему в Россию? Почему Россия?" I'm like, how do you answer that question?
This question I've been asked a lot too. But answering this question in the roads when people were asking me, it was so difficult because I never had an opportunity to explain well what I mean. So for me, I grew up seeing a lot of movies. For these hackers, I'm a tech guy. I'm already a graduated computer science and engineering.
Yeah,
I love this hacking, but I'm not a black hat. I'm a gray hat and sometimes a white hat. So I grew up liking this, and there are a lot of stereotypes where people talk about Russia being the best country for such things like hacking and all. So I grew up just saying, no, one day I want to go to Russia and be the best hacker and all. I didn't know exactly what the hacker meant.
What it really meant.
You see, so I grew up just saying, no, I will do it. I want to have my own company for security, either cyber or physical. You see. So when I finished high school, I saw this other article where they were advertising the jobs for cybersecurity in Russia and USA and all these other countries like Australia, Canada. And I saw every time when I'm reading news, these jobs, they have the highest income. Not the highest of the highest, but
really good income.
A really good income.
Yeah.
And growing up, we grew up in a society where we were taught just like you need to go to school, you need to work, you need to all that. So I used to spend all my time looking for a job. Like, what job am I gonna do if I go to uni?
Yeah.
So coming to Russia, man, I came here with this mood of like, I'm gonna kill it. I want to be the best hacker. I applied through an agent. They promised me the best. I'm not saying Russia is bad, but what they promised me...
What they sold you is different.
They sold my dream. I had other chances to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I thank them because coming here, it taught me as well. Life is a journey. I learned a lot. So here I am in Russia. I applied. I came here. I thought I would study in English.
Mm-hmm.
I was told there's no English.
No English in Russia.
Like I was told, you're in Russia, there's no English. Then I started studying in Russian.
Yeah.
And Russian language, you know it yourself.
It eats, man. Now that you mention it, you mentioned agencies and like what they sold you. I've had this question. I've had this. I can't say I can't call it an issue, but this same line of discussion come a lot when I talk to people who've come here. They tell me, what you're sold is different versus what you expect. Mm-hmm. Like earlier on, we were talking about chairs and the chairs you ordered and the expectation versus reality.
Yeah.
What are some of the expectations you were sold, and then what was the reality that kind of matched it?
Hey, man, I was told like, if you go to Russia, you like business. The lady saw already when we were speaking, the person that applied for me, she saw like, no, this one loves business. That's where she got me. And she's like, if you go to Russia, it's so easy to register businesses. You get grants, you get all these business loans. Because in my mind, I was just like, no, I really want to open that security company. So it pushed me so harder because I know how it's so difficult in other countries to get loans, to get these grants for starting a business, to register a business in a foreign land. And she promised me like it's very easy. We'll help you. We'll take you through the process once you are in Russia. Hey, when I came to Russia, if you know, you know. I've been at immigration since the time I arrived. I've been in Russia for 6 years.
Yeah.
Every year I've been at immigration trying to get the documents.
Yeah.
Because when I go to try to register the business and all, you are told like, no, you can't register this type of business because you're a foreigner. You have another person as a shareholder in your company, maybe with more shares than equity, you, and you know. And that thing is so difficult, especially with people that you don't really trust. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing. They sold my dreams there because they lied how the process would be easy, and it's not easy.
Yeah.
Then I was promised that you get a scholarship. Mm-hmm. All these students there, they are on scholarships. I was showed a lot of people that are here, their pictures. I was told, they're on scholarships.
No, on scholarship,
I'm a volleyballist. I play volleyball. Okay, I'm speaking now in Russian. Volleyballist, is it there in English? Okay, I'm a volleyball player.
Volleyball player, yeah.
Yeah. It's a Russian word, so it
I know coming. That pain.
So I thought if I play volleyball, I'll get the scholarship, I'll get the citizenship.
Yeah.
Everything will be well. I've played for my university. We've won many thrones.
And you played really quite well, eh? You're first team player, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I've played for the first team for the past 6 years. And I've won many individual prizes.
Awards. Yeah.
Yeah, many individual awards. Then after that, the last but not least, what they promised me, they told me if you come to Russia, the Russians, they are very friendly. I'm not saying they're not friendly, but it's different from what I expected.
A different kind of friendly, yeah.
So different and difficult. I wouldn't expect to have a neighbor that you will never know for the next coming 4 years. It's different from where I grew up.
You just remind me. I had a rude awakening, I'd say, with my neighbor. I think we kind of rubbed shoulders. We didn't rub shoulders well from the start, and I've never talked to that neighbor since.
Even up to now.
Yeah, we bump into each other on the stairs, maybe at the entrance, and it's just, I used to say hi to him and he wouldn't say hi back, or he just say "Zdrast," like with a grumpy voice. Then I stopped and he just stopped as well. I'm like, okay, I guess we're not talking. So I get what you mean.
Yeah, it's life. What can we do?
It's life, Talk us through like Russian as a language, how you got to learn it, how you think your proficiency is right now, because many people have, when they see someone speak a language they don't know, be like, he's speaking Russian quite well. And I'll be like, when I think of myself, like, I'm not even like halfway there. Where do you think you lie right now in terms of proficiency, and how did you learn it, and what really helped you get to where you are in terms of Russian proficiency?
Okay, so when it comes to Russian, after I was told like there's no English here, you study in Russian.
Yeah.
Man, it was a difficult moment because I had now to adjust to do the preparatory course, right?
Yeah.
Patfak,
yeah.
I never expected to do that thing. I was calculating my years, like if I go to Russia 4 years, I'm done. I'm now doing something else. And I'm told like, you're going to be in Russia for 5 years now.
Instead of 4.
All the plans are already gone, So I was like, no, it's life. I'm going to have to face what's there. I'm going to have to go through what is here already. Then going to volleyball, the first training, I get to volleyball. I say hi. No one can answer. Hey, guys, what's up? Everyone is just smiling and say, So I hear they're just speaking. They say, okay, come play. We couldn't understand each other. Like, I would want to spike or to take the ball. Another guy just comes in my way. The ball falls. They all blame me. I can't defend myself. I can't explain myself. So I had this other pain. Like, no, these guys are always talking about me. That if you ever been with I have friends that speak French. Have you ever been with French people, when they start speaking their language, Congo, you see, when they start speaking their language, even if they're not talking about you, you wonder. You just think like, no, these guys are speaking about me.
Especially French people who speak English, and you're like, guys, I know you speak English. So why are you speaking French? The only reasonable answer is that you're speaking about me. I know that feeling,
So now I had to learn Russian so quick. I downloaded many applications, translators, bro, they were not working. They're not working.
Let me actually take you off a tangent for a bit. The application or the application trap or the course trap of like downloading many apps, translators, and what would you say made them not work, or why were they not working in your own view?
For me, they were not working because they were teaching me to be so dependent to the technology. So every time when I want to go to the shop, I'm like, no, I'll just translate. And I show them. So every time when I have a fight with someone at volleyball, I have to run, take my phone,
do that,
come translate. For me to really learn with those applications, I kept on saying, no, I'll do tomorrow, because the technology will be showing me like, no, you can use this, you can use this, you can use this. But I'm sure it all comes on like, do you have a drive to learn something? For me, maybe I would say it was because of time. Because after volleyball, I have to do other work. After work, I have to go to school and all. But for those that are also learning Russian, you guys can also try applications. I'm sure there are a lot of applications that can help, but for me, they couldn't. So I had to make a lot of friends in the hostel. It helped me living in the hostel. I was in the hostel for 2 years, maybe a year and a half.
Yeah.
So speaking to other students, we're in a group where you have people from Ecuador, they speak Spanish. From Cameroon, Congo, they speak French. I myself, I speak Shonan English.
Yeah.
So we are forced to learn Russian language had to unite
as a
all
unifying
of us,
language. Yeah. I think about this a lot because in class, I am one of 2 international students. My other classmate is from Egypt. He's an African, right? But this guy speaks Arabic and a bit of English, just from media. I guess he learned from TV and stuff, but he mostly speaks Arabic and he's really good in Russian. So our unifying point of communication is speaking through Russian language. And like, look at what this language has done to the way I communicate with people who I share the same continent with. When I think of people from Angola, people from Mozambique, these are people in the SADC region like you and I, who, had I maybe stayed in Botswana all my life, I was never going to learn how to speak to them, or I'd have to learn maybe Portuguese, or they'd have to learn English for us to communicate. And now look, we've all learned Russian. I know some guys from Angola who speak Portuguese, but when we're together, we either speak, we only speak Russian. And I'm like, wow, it's changed things.
Yeah.
It's changed things.
I think it was a great thing because now, for me, truly, I don't want to lie, coming to Russia, learning Russian language, I got this other confidence of what's a language? A language is nothing. It's just a way of speaking to someone,
Point of communication.
Point of communication. I'm no longer afraid. I can travel to any other country because I've survived in Russia only with a translator without knowing anything. So now I know I can go to any country, and seeing many foreigners in Russia, I believe that there's a lot of other foreigners in all these other countries. And you can still find someone that you can talk to, some people that can teach you the language and help you through it.
Yeah.
So you'd ask how is my Russian?
Yeah.
I would say my Russian, for a foreigner, I think I'm good.
Okay.
For a foreigner, I think I'm good because I've been at a lot of competitions for Russian language.
Yeah.
And I've did quite well. Yeah, I've gotten some awards. And this Olympiad.
Yeah,
I actually have another Olympiad coming soon.
Really?
Yeah.
I participated in Olympiads before. Now that you mention it, for anyone who's looking into a way to learn Russian, or in fact any language, right? Competition somehow is the best way to learn something really good, really fast. And Russian Olympiads really, it has a way, man. It has a way. I competed in one, and I think I came.
I remember. You told me you went to Rudian, right?
Yeah, it was a Rudian competition, but it was during COVID, so it was online. And I actually did 2. I think they were around about the same time. There was one in Rudian, and there was one by KGU.
Kursk.
Yeah, Kursk Государственный. I think I did well. One, I think I came second, and then the other one I forgot. But when I think of the things I learned that time, like the pronunciations of words, how to break down words, how to understand what words mean, and how to memorize them. Wow, yeah. Olympiads are one way of really learning Ruski.
Another thing that I think is also a big way of learning. Of course, I wouldn't push because some people would take it as a wrong advice.
Yeah.
But for those, okay, let me say friendship. Because if I say people must date Russians to learn, some people will take it the wrong way.
In another way, yeah.
But for me personally, one of my best friends here in Russia is a Russian person. And the person speaks Russian. So me speaking to the person, it helps me.
You only have to speak to them
in Russian. I have to speak them in Russian. Yeah. So, and that person started learning Russian, English from me.
Because of you.
and now the person can also speak English,
A bit of English.
and you can make a conversation, you can understand each other. And look where I am now. I speak Russian because every time I'm forced to think before I say a word. So I think having a Russian person as well that you can talk to, if you're a male, preferably
a female. I get you.
Because you have this thing of like, no, I don't want to lose my manhood. I want to show like I know this thing, So that's another thing. Then also going to school. People, they avoid like this thing, early stages. 100%. The early stages when you go to any country, be it South Africa, be it Russia, be it China, all these. If you are not...
Oh my God. This car just disconnected.
No problem. You can see what you do, then other parts we figure out from there.
So should I stop?
Yeah, let's pause for now.
Yeah, does it pause or is stop?
Yeah, we're back. We were actually talking about you were talking about the importance of attending school as a way to learn Russian as well. Can you continue on that?
Hey man, let me tell you, this thing of not going to school is really bad.
Yeah.
You see, for me right now, with the speed I had in learning languages, I could be in African Russian by now. But there are times when I didn't go to school and people were being taught like grammar, the padage and all this. That's where I pulled off a bit. So I would say people who don't go to school, please, you need to go.
Do yourself a favor.
Because when you're in class, if someone say it is stakan, if they say today and you don't know like what's a stakan, you go home. Tomorrow you come again. You come again. You never know if you don't go to school, but if you come to school over and over, if someone can keep on saying stakan, you end up realizing like, oh, so
it's
this is a stakan, it's a cab. Okay, this is a notebook, it's a computer. This is a what, it's a what. You keep on, But if you don't go to school, you will never know anything. I know many people, they came here before me even. I've seen them in troubles at the university, with the police, immigration. They can't fight for themselves. They can't say anything. You are told
they can't speak.
Because they can't speak.
Yes.
And they blame like, no, in Kursk, people, they don't teach. I don't want to lie. Everywhere, teachers are the same. It also depends on you as students. Are you creating an environment that is good for learning for yourself?
Yeah.
Of which I have seen like many students, they come here with this agenda of like, no, I just want to work, or I just want to get some bucks and go. I want my degree and go.
Yeah.
We all want money. We all want to do everything.
Here to make something.
But at least learn something. Learn the language. If you don't want to learn something in school, just learn the language.
Man, it feels like you're poking at me because, when I was in first year and second year, after Pathvak, I did Pathvak, right? And then, you learn the basics, like you said, of the language. Words that can help you learn the language. That's how I think of Pathvak. Pathvak is not necessarily teaching you Russian. It's giving you a foundation into, now out in the world, how can you help the world teach you Russian? Year 1 and year 2 start, and I'm attending these lectures, and I'm like, man, I cannot hear a single thing you're saying.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's fine. I'll just listen to you. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to learn anything school-wise between year 1 and year 2, but the best thing I can do for myself is learn Russian. Let me help you with that, actually. Oopsies.
Hey, Russian, man. Russian is Russian. And
there we go. Yeah, I was like, the best thing I can do for myself right now is just at least learn Russian, because it's going to be important in year 3. It's going to be important in year 4.
in year 4, I have a diploma ya rabota, basically my final year work. I have to present it to a board of lecturers or like to people. So I need Russian for that. At some point, this is it's gonna be necessary. So I might as well start as early as possible on my own. So yeah, I kind of see what you mean.
It's necessary to go to school. It's necessary. Please tell your friends, tell people. I don't want to say names because I don't know anyone, but all those who are not going to school, please
just go to
tell
school,
people,
man.
go to school.
Yeah. I forgot. Yes. I also wanted to bring up the issue of media and like art and music and films and just how they help in learning a language. Is there any specific music you used to listen to, any films you've watched, or anything really that kind of like you enjoy doing, but now that it's also available in Russian, you kind of like picked it up and it really helped you learn the language?
For me, firstly, I'll speak about media since you started about media.
Yeah.
So the first thing is like, a lot of people, like especially foreigners that speak English, to be specific. Maybe let me say the Southerners.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Westerners,
speak English, yeah.
But from the Southern part, football is so well known.
That's true.
Even if you come from which family, whatever family, there's always one family member that likes football. And you are forced to watch that football match because of that one.
Because of that one. That's probably me and my family.
For those, like, you grew up watching football, almost everyone, they have their team that they support. It might be just like, I support Man U, but maybe you don't really watch football, but just that thing of like, I support you, Man U.
Yeah.
It must drive you to watch football in Russian. Me, I like mostly Oko. There's an application.
Yeah, Oko. Man, Oko.
Yeah, Oko. That platform for Oko.
Oko.
Don't underestimate it.
Don't sleep on it, man.
Don't sleep on it. Oko is the best.
Shout out to Oko, actually. Oko is the reason I enjoyed the World Cup, hey?
Yeah.
Oko provided full-time, proper live stream.
You remember we watched the final together,
yeah. It was proper, clear streaming. It's a beautiful website.
Every time when I listen to Oko, like watching movies, football, it sounds so different. It sounds so good, bro.
Yeah, commentators.
They try by all means to express themselves because they are competing with the English broadcasters.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, they want to be the best, to attract you to really try to listen. Even the way they speak, you can really see like they try to pronounce so well so that even us, we can understand. So I would say those who are learning Russian or those who are in Russia or those who need Russian language for the future, they must try Oko. They must try. There are a lot of platforms, that
Match TV, Oko, Kinopoisk, Yandex. When you pay Yandex Premium, it gives you all these streaming services as well. I think it's better also Oko. But yeah, those are the three I know that you can find something interesting to watch there.
That's the first. Through watching, listening to music. Music, I would say this type of new music, like the hip hop, like, this fresh, I wouldn't advise because those ones, some of them, they're trying to rap with the slang.
English slang.
And trying to put English to be international and all. But if you listen to the 90s music for Russia, yeah.
Yo, man. You remember Elena? Yeah. Elena used to plug 90s music like her life depended on it, man.
And she'd say, tell us what was being said about.
She'd give like a playlist of like songs and be like, guys, go listen to this. Tomorrow, tell me what the songs mean or tell me the songs you liked and tell me about the song. And I'm like, 90s music.
It's good because those 90s, they were trying, it was really music.
That's true.
They were speaking from the heart through music.
It was a story, man.
Yeah.
And now,
that's the second. The third one. Hey, we are still on the media. Try by all means to engage on the posts that are done by your university. Know what's happening in the community.
Yeah.
sometimes, like right now, it's the time of the wars, you know? The bombs are being thrown. You don't even know. You don't read. You don't check. Try by all means to find time, you know, to check other things. Okay, I don't want to speak more about it because it's political. Try by all means to check the media, to check the news.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about media. What's your favorite social media channel, site, website that you follow that's Russian?
Oh, that's really a difficult.
I have
thing.
one that's hilarious.
But for me, man, I think we're gonna say the same, but maybe different. Me, I love VK, bro.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to have mine like VK, but for my southern region.
Yeah.
You know, of course, it's gonna take a lot of time to develop such a thing. But if it happens, if there's someone willing to do this project with me, I'm open for that.
Yeah.
VK, I love it.
What's on VK? What's that one channel you like open and you're looking forward to seeing what they're writing?
On VK, every day, I open Mino Brown, Naoki something.
Yeah, the Ministry of
Education for Russia.
Oh, they have really interesting content, actually.
They have a lot every time because I usually check their things to do with science. Because the world we are nowadays, we might lie, but the world is now being controlled by science.
It's really changing because of
science. The world is changing. Whether you want money, you want what, it all connects you here. Because
you need science.
You need science in the community. I love it.
Yeah. I like Kus Bomond, man.
I forgot another one. There's Tipich Kus.
Typically Kus. Yeah. You know, I always see, okay, they really they're like a news network, right? It's like a newspaper, if you could say, and they talk about things in the city. But some of the things you see on there, they're so hilarious, and you're like, you won't see this happening at home, back home. Yeah. There's this one video. I actually have a screen recording of it on my phone because it was, something that's tragic but hilarious at the same time. You probably saw it. There's this car that was passing behind Central Park. Now, at that time in Central Park, they had dug a hole because they were maintaining some pipes there. And there were some barricades or some cones that had been set up. And this car, it's just going on that lane in that road. I'm like, does this guy not see that there's a hole? And it was raining that time around, maybe, it was during rainy season. Yeah, I think it was September, October. And then you just see, zoop, like the car just fall inside.
Shit, in the hole.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo.
I'm sure it was a ladder or something. Yeah?
It was a ladder. It's always ladder. You see? Man, it was just so hilarious. Fortunately, the people who were in the car were safe. They came out alive. I think that's why I laugh at it when I look back. Because like no one suffered, everyone's okay. And I happened to be on that street the same night it happened. I came the following morning, in fact, when I passed. They were removing it with a crane. They had clamped in, and I was like, don't you guys just look like just 20 meters ahead when you're driving? It was just so hilarious. But yeah, that's one of those. Exactly. Yeah. Those are one of the things you see when you're in this country. But that's the thing, social media has a way of also teaching you about a society and a culture, which I actually do wanted to talk about with you. Of what do you think about the culture of Russia? And there are two things I want to ask, but I'll start with this one, right? The culture of Russia. What were the shocking things you found? How did you absorb it? What still shocks you to this day? And what are the beautiful things you see in Russian culture?
Hey, man, to tell you the truth, for me, I have a lot to say. It's another topic, but I'll just go through it like slow, fast.
Yeah.
Because I have been in like Russian villages a lot. So I've seen a lot of the cultures that I never expected, even in my life.
Yeah.
So the first one that amazed me a lot is like this culture of like when you have gloves on, you can't greet anyone. You can't do.
You have to take it off. Yeah.
I grew up like just knowing like there are manners of like, no, you can't greet someone with their
With
gloves,
that glove on, yeah.
you know. But for them, it's actually the culture. It's something that someone would not take good. Like they have many words that they'll say like, no, you're kissing me, or you're saying something else about me. If you greet me like this, then those ones of like, you can't greet someone across the door. Like if someone is on the other side of
Really?
the door. Yeah, you can't.
I didn't know that.
You can't. If you
Okay,
do
now I
that,
know.
like it's an insult, like a big insult.
Wow.
And you can't blow a whistle inside a house, like an
yeah,
apartment or a dormer, you know. Then there's this other one of drinking. Like when they're drinking, be it water, juice, alcohol. As long as you do the cheers, you can't learn the.
You can't.
You know, like if you do this,
Nazarove.
you have to drink here.
All the way down, Baba. Yeah, I've seen that. And man, the drinking culture, yo, we'll get to that, but yeah.
But what would happen if you don't lend? They beat you or what? I've never ever
I'm
asked,
not
like,
sure.
If those who know, they must just write in the comment
Yeah.
section like what happens if you drink and
Yeah, I just know that if someone offers you a drink, it's bad manners to say no.
yeah. But what
especially
if I
when-
don't drink? Like,
Exactly.
you know,
Especially when it's like a Dan Rajdenia or like celebration of something. If someone offers you like a shot, and it's always shots, you know, because these guys drink vodka like it's water.
hey, one of the cultures that I forgot to mention. Don't know if it's a culture it's said, or maybe it's just a thing of like the manners. They say if a babushka is wrong, you don't say anything. If a babushka said jump to the side, you just have to jump.
I didn't know.
Yeah, you just have to do. You can't argue with the babushka.
Yeah, no, you really can't.
I thought it's just the thing of like, no, these are elders, but someone told me like
Respect
it's
them, yeah.
actually a culture, like the babushka's first before anything.
Hey, man.
Dedushka doesn't mean anything.
Dedushka, man.
They say, but the babushka, those who don't know, a babushka is the
grandmother,
you
yeah.
know.
The old grannies.
You can't do anything that the grandmother doesn't like, you know. So
Those ones are
respect.
invincible, man. Even like I've seen in the buses and the trains and like public transport. Babushka enters. She has to find a seat.
Yeah, she has to.
Srochna.
If you don't stand up,
it's a problem.
you face them, man.
Yeah. And I also wanted to ask you like the second part of culture, about culture here. There's Russian culture, right? And then there's international student culture, particularly I'd say African culture in Russia. And when I think about it, I think the culture we have as international students, particularly as Africans, particularly as people from the SADC region, is different from the culture you might have back at home. I don't know if you've observed that, or even if you share the same sentiments. What do you think about it?
Hey, I really do, man. There's a lot of things, you know, that we take so light as Africans. And for the people here in Russia, they really mean a lot. I will give an example. You know, nowadays, a lot of Africans, I don't know if it's a spirit or what's happening, you know?
Yeah.
Like the culture, people no longer really respect their culture. Me, I'm a very, you know, I'm so cultured. If you ask my guys that know me, when it comes about these things of culture, I respect my culture. I respect where I come because I know how it means, you know.
Yeah, what it means to
what
you.
it means to me, you know. So if you fight or if there's a problem with a Russian, even if you tell them like, no, you're going off limits, they will tell you like, hey, I can't keep quiet. Then you say, why? Then it's like, because I'm Russian blood. That thing of like, they just feel like, no, our culture is like, if you have something that you have in your mind or in your heart,
You have to say
you have to say it out.
Yeah.
People have to listen to you. You have to say it out. But looking on the cultures for African students, to be specific, people no longer respect themselves, no longer respect, because from me, from the way I grew up, I was told, like, if you have something you don't feel it's okay, you have to say it out.
Yeah.
If someone tells you something, you are supposed to have a say, like, no, I don't want this, I want this. But looking to a lot of Africans, bro, hey, people are doing whatever that is said because it's said by someone. They no longer think about their culture. If you're told to do this, people are just doing just because it's this person. I wouldn't want to mention any race or something, but just because it's someone that is not from your own culture, not from your own race, people will just do it.
Do you think Africans in Russia or even international students in Russia need some sort of culture that is independent from the cultures we left at home, because we're from different backgrounds, but it's also different from the culture that's here because we're also not Russians? Do you think we need something of that nature? Something in between?
Okay, to tell the truth, nowadays it's so difficult. When we speak about culture, people, they take it so lightly. For me, culture, it's a big thing.
Yeah.
It's even close to religion. I know some people would argue, but I would explain now. For me, culture, when you speak about culture, it's something that I believe that it's not an easy thing to just change and say, no, now I'm taking this.
Yeah.
But on the other side, if I'm to support the other people, I would say it's worth it to adjust. Because if you're someone who travels around the world, you're going to have to adjust to different cultures for you to be able to sustain in those places. Because if you don't, trust me, you're going to be fighting every time with other people. Like, for example, I would give an example. I chill a lot with my friends who are like Muslim. It's a religion, but as well in their religion, they have different cultures from other places. Some of them, they say before eating, or is it before or after? If I'm wrong, they can correct. They do this after. But you as an African, you have your own culture. You just say, no, I pray. But now if you don't do it, some of them, they feel offended. And you are supposed to also adjust to that culture. You know, if you are with them, you're supposed to honor them. Like what they say, if you're in Rome, do what the Romans do. So I feel like sometimes you have to adjust to those cultures. But it's becoming a difficulty for a lot of us, you know, because, hey, it's just difficult. The things for culture.
Yeah. This is something I think about a lot. It's something I write a lot. It's something, you know, I observe a lot. And because when I think of the life I lived back at home, back in Botswana, it's like, it's so different from the life I live here in Russia for many reasons. First of all, I'm alone, I'm independent. Second of all, I would say I'm a minority, right? There are not many black people in Russia. Of course, of recent, we've started to increase in number because of like Russia's education opportunities, but we're still a minority. We're in the thousands. We're not even in the millions. And Russia has like 140 million people. So that's almost 0.01%. And I'm like, okay, so me as a student studying in Russia, that's independent, that's a minority, and there are many people just like me. What is a way of living that we have, that we can develop, that makes us, you know, become the best versions of ourselves? Because I feel that's the whole point of culture, right? The best way of living as a society so that everyone prospers and everyone cherishes each other. That's how I think about it. Because, but anyways, that was just
it's a big topic.
It's a
I'm sure
it's a big,
we'll talk about it, because when it comes to culture, especially for me, it's a big thing.
Me too.
So I'm sure one day we have to talk about the culture.
Maybe one day we'll dive into it a lot. We can
take maybe people from different cultures and we just sit around with them.
I think I'd like that. And still on like society as a whole, I really wanted to touch on the issue of, I'd say, racial discrimination, racism, discrimination, because for one, a lot of people ask me about it from back home. Yo, man, how's racism in Russia? Are your experiences? What have you experienced? And also, even here, I've come to realize that everyone has their own way of viewing racism or discrimination for many different reasons, right? Primarily because we've all had different experiences within the same country. So, what are your experiences? What are your encounters? Some good, some bad. What would you like to share?
Okay, firstly, I want to ask a quick question.
Sure.
Do you have any country that you think
I'm
doesn't
sorry, I'm
have
laughing. I don't know why I'm laughing, but yeah.
Which country doesn't have racism?
When I think of racism, now that you mention it, I don't think any country has 0% racism, because we're human beings. Hatred is always there, and racism is a form of hatred, right? It's racial hate. So no.
Because why I ask this question is so that I can explain easier for other people that are listening. I have a friend. She is my best friend here in Russia. When I'm with my fellow Africans, if someone starts speaking in our own language and starts laughing, or maybe they say something about her, she feel like it's a racial attack.
Really?
Yeah. Me too, I would feel the same as well. Like what I explained to you when I arrived, when I would go to volleyball, when they start speaking so much in fast Russian and I'm alone in a corner, I felt like, no, these people, it's just like a racial thing. Like they don't want me, or they, So when it comes to racism, I feel like the way we define racism is differently.
Yeah.
Sometimes it might not be racism, but it just bad manners from a group of people. Some people, they don't know, they don't have manners of like, no, if you understand the second language that your peer or knows or speaks, let's just use that language. They don't know.
Yeah.
Some people will speak they'll speak Igbo, they'll speak, they'll speak Shona or whatever while you are there. If you see every time when I'm around you or other guys that don't speak Shona, I always advise my friends,
try to speak in English.
Let's speak in English to accommodate another person. Some people, they don't do that. Another person who is a different race, how would they feel if you are my race, but you have different language, but you feel bad about that? What about a different race? These people just feel like there's something racial that is being spread. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to what I feel about racism in Russia. That was the main question. I would say yes, I have faced it many times. The first time I faced like a strong racism thing, it was in Belgorod. We had a tournament for volleyball. Man, before and after the match, people, they greet each other. Hey, I greeted everyone. Then there's this other guy. He's like, no, I don't want. And even said it in English, bruh.
Wow.
Like, no, I don't want. Then I'm like, Pachem, why? Then he just, no. I only greet people from Russia because I'm in Russia, bro. You are not from Russia. Then I'm like, oh. Then the second one did the same. That one, it was so worse. It's like, maybe I'm smelling or what, but you never smelled me. But you act like, rude. Then I got pissed off. Like, I had to shout. I freaked out. I'm not even proud of the way I reacted. I wanted even to destroy that person.
This was still at the same volleyball tournament.
Yeah, it was that same day, like 5 minutes. Like everyone had to try to stop because I was going to do something that I would regret even up to now.
Yeah.
And I really felt it like, no, is it because of my skin or what? Then another time I faced it like when I used to be one of the best real estate realtors, like in Kursk, like those people who give apartments, houses. I've reached some places. I've been to many apartments, many houses. at first I thought like, no, some people that just like, it's normal. Like, no, I just don't want a black person in this apartment. I just don't like. But I've met some people that will tell you the truth.
Oh, yeah?
Like, you know what? Me, I believe that blacks are not people. I don't like them. Some of them I have recorded. Another time, even I was with Ngoni and Faith. There's this other taxi driver that came. I opened the door, bro. He drove off. He didn't care that the door is open.
Oh, yeah.
He drove up and he just said, I don't carry blacks. I don't know how you guys see it, but me, I felt like it's racism.
Yeah.
So if you guys are asking or wondering if there's racism, I'll tell you every country that you go, there's racism. But the main thing is like, how do you deal with it as a human being? You can't say, no, I'm not going to go to this country because there's racism. In Africa, in Asia, everywhere there's racism.
It's the same, yeah.
But people, they don't know because they don't have a lot of racists coming to that place.
Yeah.
But here in Russia, we are a lot of foreigners coming to Russia. So it's easier for us to see the racism. But if you ask even those few of the other races that have visited Botswana, let's say, or Zimbabwe or South Africa, you won't be shocked that there are some people that say, no, I felt racism in South Africa or,
Yeah. How did you deal with those moments?
And for me, firstly, I don't want to lie, it was so difficult. The volleyball time was the most difficult thing.
Yeah.
Because it was, I think, the first month that I arrived in Russia.
Oh, that's, yeah.
And I'm like, is this what I'm going to be facing for my next 5 years? But I have a friend, he's Russian as well, like he's called Dima. After the match, he's like, bro, no, do you drink beer? Then I said, no, yeah, of course I drink. Then he said, no, let's go and just take one.
Have some, yeah.
Then he started telling me, like, look, me, I travel a lot. I understand how life is. But usually, look in the place, not in Russia only, but in any country. The racists, I'm sorry to offend you. But usually the racist people, they are the most poor people. They are racist because they don't travel. They don't know anything. They've never been to any place. If you check in places like the villages, most times it's in the villages when you find a large number of racists because they don't travel. They've never seen someone. They've never spoken to another person from a different race. They don't know that other people are also humans. If you are someone who is rich or who is well, not even about riches, but someone who travels and you have met different people, you'll be shocked that the person that you've invented maybe this thing here, maybe it could be from a different race from yours. If you are someone who thinks you would appreciate.
That's funny to mention, yeah. Because I'm just going to touch a bit on like just school in general. When was it? On Monday? Tuesday, yesterday, literally yesterday. I had a class, and in this class we're learning about control systems. Long story short, this guy asked us to research on like the history of a certain specific type of control method. It's called fuzzy logic. And also learn the history behind it. Who did it, the mathematics, who the person behind this. And one of the methods was actually done by a guy who was born in Tanzania. It's a black guy born in Tanzania. Studied in Newcastle, but he studied in the UK. And I'm like, what? Wow. I always thought like, you'd be shocked by the people who create the amazing things around us, and there's no need to ostracize a certain group of people just because we were not like them. We don't know what they've done to society, and we don't know what they're doing for society right now. So yeah, I get what you mean.
Man, one last thing about this racist thing. I've seen like even right now, like the thing for this footballer Vinicius Junior.
Vinicius Junior,
from
yeah.
Brazil, the one that plays for Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Man, a lot of people, they said what they want to say. Everyone said what they said. But I would say, man, life is tough in any country. As long as you're a foreigner, just know there are people who like you and people who don't like you.
Yeah.
So don't expect anyone to... For me, I'm a Christian. I would say from my view, even Jesus, there are people who didn't like him. There are people who liked him. He did well. He did everything that he thought was good. But there are people who didn't like it.
Still didn't like it.
What about you? Of course, there are people who don't like you, especially in a foreign land. So some things, please, don't be taken out of your mood just because someone is racist. Do what's good. Continue your work. Do what you're supposed to do. If someone is racist, just look aside. Just act like, no, this person is just saying something to the air. He's not talking. He or she is not talking to me. Do your thing. Because the moment you keep thinking about these racist people, you never go anywhere.
It'll get to you, eh? I was in Kazan last month, and I was staying at a hostel. And I don't know if you've stayed at a hostel before, like these.
Yeah, I've done in Moscow there.
Yeah, people there are really friendly for some reason. I don't know why. It shocks me every day. And one of these guys I was having a conversation with, I was like, dude, do you sometimes encounter like people who say anything because of your skin color? And I was like, yeah, but I don't listen to them. He's like, yeah, that's probably the best way. He's just telling me about how, because he's not white. He's, Russia is very multiracial. For people who don't know, it's so multiracial. I forgot where he told me, but he told me he was from. He's not white.
Dagestan?
No, not Dagestan. Yeah, he's not Dagestan. Dagestani, I would have remembered. But yeah, he was just telling me, there were some racial slurs they've also used for him, towards him. And the main thing is to just not put it in your head. The moment you put it in your head, you'll never win.
You never do anything. You never focus. Trust me, you never do anything.
Yeah.
Don't listen to people that are racist. And you yourself, please, as a person, everyone, try by all means to just have, firstly, from self-respect and also respect other people.
Yeah.
Because sometimes what you say can come out as like a racial attack to someone. So it's good to just always try by all means. No, I'm not saying people must try to impress everyone, but just act normal. Just be a human being.
Be a person in it. Yeah. Anyways.
Have you ever faced
me
a racial attack?
Now, this is where it gets tricky for me because of my attitude towards life in general. I have a don't care attitude to a lot of external things, right? A couple of weeks ago, I'm not even talking about a long time ago, maybe early April, mid-April, I was passing by, going home from the shops. And these kids looked between 8 and 12 years old. They just started screaming the word, nigga, nigga, nigga. And I'm like, I'm not going to listen to this.
You just ignored it.
I have other life problems. And I increased the volume of my music and I kept walking. But yeah, that was literally the most recent one, right? But something a bit more serious, when I think about it, like again, some things might have happened and I wouldn't know, right? Because I really don't listen to a lot of things. I do get a lot of weird questions when I talk to Russians. I remember my first year when I was in Pathfak. This other lady at a shop, I was trying to get some help. I think I was buying maybe a phone or something. This other lady just started asking, yo, do you have a big... I swear. And I'm like, yo, what do you mean?
How old?
This is
You did the same thing.
How old was she? Hold on. Why does it do this now?
You're showing the package.
Don't pause it. I Let me just get it. I think. Now we can do.
They have a big package. I feel that every time. When I go to volleyball, bro, these kids will be like, hey, big dick, bro.
So you show? You show?
You know,
when I mentioned you on the ball.
You know, I was about to reply you if it wasn't the microphone.
Yeah.
I was about to say, yeah, bro. Of course, they love the D word.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, bro, you have the big D. You have the big D.
It's so wild, man.
I'm gonna say it.
I love the BBC. I love the
BBC, big cock.
I think like
Big cock.
BBC.
That's a big word. I didn't know about that one. The BBC word.
BBC.
You knew about it.
Huh?
You knew about this one.
BBC.
Yeah.
Of course.
Hey, man, I grew up in a twisted society. Oops. Man, you know what? This you haven't stopped, right? This thing cuts off at the worst time. But since we have the video recording, we still have like a bit of it. But yeah, you know, that's what she asked me, and I'm like, I barely know Russian, right? And I could understand exactly what she meant.
Yeah, like, no, this lady.
I'm like 2-3 months into this country, and these are the questions I'm going to face for the rest of my time here. I was just shocked, to say the least. I was perplexed. I was thrown. I was literally blown away.
But she really said exactly. Like,
no, she didn't. She was like, do you guys have a big, you know? Initially, I'm like, what do you mean? Right?
at least you had to ask in your mind.
Yeah.
Because other people, they really say like, hey God, you have a big, you have a big, black, big, you know.
Yeah. But then this other dude who happened to know English in the shop then translated to me. I'm like, yo. Yeah, but you know, what's happening?
Good, can you pass me Sprite?
She said, then should I show you?
Fair, innit? I think I know what to do.
Regarding when the audience now will pour in the glass, then you guys really see what we are drinking. We are drinking this Sprite.
What do you
No,
oh, you mean
this one?
yeah.
Some people will be like,
yeah,
you're drinking alcohol, then they see
beer.
Sprite.
Midweek getting drunk.
But that thing for the big thing, I hate it.
No.
You know, sometimes people they exceed. They go to they go too far.
They have no manners. There we go. Now
But some of them, they'll be just joking. They'll just think I'm playing.
yeah, but man, you're talking about someone's like private part.
Someone's dead leg.
It's still recording, huh?
Yeah, it's still recording.
Like you can't just ask someone about their private part, man, in public for that matter. Hey,
maybe she wanted a taste, man. You know, these people are tasty nowadays.
Can
I give you some, man? Fuck us here, bro. Fuck us here, that thing.
You can't be asking these questions at work, my guy.
Oh, it was at work?
That was at a cell phone shop.
Oh, shit. Man, but speaking about these things of like, these kids being racist and all.
This thing is loaded.
You remember yesterday when we were coming from, is it yesterday or 2 days back? When we were coming from Bayevka there. Novaya Bayevka.
Yeah, work is also.
Like, he saw those kids that were shouting like, hey, nigga.
That's exactly what
What
I
up,
mean.
nigga? What's up, nigga?
I
noticed like,
me, I fucking blame these Americans. Right?
Because
They should never use this word.
of the music.
They have abused it too much.
I said it. A lot of people got offended. And I'm like, guys, look, these kids, maybe they're not even trying to be racist.
That's exactly why I avoided those kids.
Because of social media,
That's
they
why
see
I
every
avoided
time.
those kids.
When we meet, I'm like, what's up, my nigga?
You see?
So they just feel like nigga is a good word.
It's a word.
normal.
Exactly.
when they do it to us now, we feel offended.
Feel
But we are
offended.
the ones who use it. That's why you see me, I will never say what's up nigga to anyone.
Yeah, you see. I'll say, okay, for me, it's different. I use the word nigga with black people. But like, in fact, with my friends, you know,
Yeah,
because
maybe.
we just have a common understanding of like language. Because, hey, when you start using words that are very like in the gray zone with other people, it becomes a problem. Hey.
You know, there's a time when I almost beat someone at volleyball as well. Sorry, I'm speaking about volleyball. There's this
It's
other
okay.
guy from Turkmenistan. He speaks English.
Hey,
He's my
Turkmenis,
friend.
man.
You see?
Yeah.
So him, you would say, "Even, what's up, my nigga? What are we doing tonight? Where are we going tonight?" You know, because he's my
Ish.
friend.
Yeah.
So people, they overheard him saying nigga to me.
Ah, yeah.
Then someone now said, "Hey, nigga."
Started saying it to you.
But now the problem is the person said, "Hey, nigga," in a way where I had done something wrong. So it sounded like he is attacking.
It's
You
no
see,
it's
it's no longer like the
That's
nigga
why,
for
yeah.
a friend, you see.
Yeah.
And trust me, my fist was almost on his, you know, because I'm like, you can't just say, "Hey, nigga, what are you doing?" You know?
Yeah, man.
So I feel like sometimes it's better to just avoid these words like
Avoid
nigga
the
and-
words. It's like Africans just using the word kafir, like just out of nowhere, you know, just throwing it loosey goosey.
I have said a word similar to that to another Russian in Magnet. He said, "Hey, you nigga, do your thing so fast." And I'm like, yeah, you redneck. Wait for me to finish. You know?
Yeah, then you see how he reacts.
Then he got pissed off. Another time, even in the text, then I think I was with God. So then the driver did that thing of like, "Hey, you nigga, why did you come to Russia?" Then me, I said, "Hey, redneck, why are you in Russia? Why are you poor? Why are you what, you know?" Then he got pissed off, and I said, "Okay, you, if you don't want me to call you redneck, don't call me nigga."
calling me that. Yeah, I guess that's
Is it the memory card? Oh shit, it's big again. It's so stubborn, this memory card.
man. I don't know why it doesn't.
Hey, you redneck, what are you doing there?
Oh, bruh. What is some things, man?
But you know your voice, if we put your voice from the background and we say you're the redneck speaking, people will believe that you're the redneck.
Yeah, we're back. I think, okay, I'm just thinking of the editing right now. The video version will be uncut, but the audio version is gonna be cut because audio. So if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Music or something and you want to go listen to the uncut parts, just go check it out on YouTube. You'll definitely find it there, full uncut. There might be some audio problems here and there, but 90% of the recording is high quality. So yeah, just a little reminder to like and subscribe as well. Yeah, that was Russia. That was like our little encounters with life, the little things that make us look and turn back a bit. So let's move on. I wanted us to talk about business, in fact, because I know you're a business guy. You mentioned you're a business guy. You have business in your blood. You've been doing business since you existed, basically. Talk me through some of your best business ideas or some things that you really did and you didn't expect them to take off the way they did.
Hey, man, the first one that I would tell you, you know, I would give even an example because, you know, as I was speaking right now, I wanted to laugh, but I was like, yeah, this is when I come well. You see, I'm drinking this, I don't know, those who are seeing it, for me, it's like Sprite.
Sprite, Dobry, yeah.
You see, but it's Dobry. Okay.
That's the new Russian Sprite, by the way, in case anyone asks.
You see. So this Dobry, my guy, it tastes exactly like Sprite. I'm enjoying.
Nazdarove.
Yeah. So my thing now is like the best business ever that I've done.
Yeah.
I know it's not allowed, but it was for that time.
Yeah.
It's to do a replica of something like this Sprite.
Really?
This Dobry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to have a printing machine like growing up there back in Zim.
Yeah.
And my friends as well. We used to do embroidery, plastic sew for the painting and all these
Yeah, I follow,
types
yeah.
of prints, who do the print. You would think if I do a Louis Vuitton for you,
You think it's
you
Louis
never
Vuitton.
you never know. You just think it's Louis Vuitton. Only me and God and a few friends who know that, like, no, this is not the original thing.
Yeah.
That was one of the best businesses I've ever done. Because those days, like 2012, 2014, 2016, there was YMCMB, Young Money,
Yeah. The caps and
the caps and all these
tees,
things.
yeah.
People would like, to dress up and be like, hey, my guy, YMCMB, what. So we're printing all this stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't know a lot about the laws and all the copyrights and everything.
You just thought it cool logo.
Just doing it.
Everyone
Cool
should
logo,
have it.
everything. But it was the best because I made a lot. Sometimes I'll go like to South Africa to buy plain t-shirts, caps, come print home. As a young kid, like 17 years, 16 years old. The first time I went to buy those things, I was 16 years old.
Wow.
I went across, I bought my things in one of the most scariest parts in South Africa where people are like, no,
probably
you can't go. Yeah. But it's life. I was just like, a lot of relatives, a lot of friends, teachers.
Yeah.
They would say a lot. They would discourage me, say a lot to my parents, like, your kid is not doing in school. He's just focusing in business. He loves money so much. He loves what. But me, my main idea was to have something tangible for myself,
at the end of it.
Something that I say, no, I did this.
Now that I think about it, when you mention like school and business, I feel like business or some form of it is like the final boss, quote unquote, of why we go through this long thing of education. So it feels like a full circle, right? You wake up, you are young, you go to primary, you go to secondary, then you go to university or college to get a degree to either work for a business or run your own business. Now it's kind of weird when someone gets in the way between you and doing that earlier, before maybe you graduate, before you start college, and it's like, hey, you're focusing too much. It's already what's coming, so I might as well do it earlier. So it's funny how you mention it.
What I think? I feel like parents, because I have a book that I wrote and I have articles that I read. Those who know, you can check my website, www.frankmafusire.com. I always try by all means to tell, I can't teach parents in a big way because I'm not a parent, but I only say like the views that I have about parenting.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of parents, they take down their children. Many children, they have, many talents, but they don't do those things because of the parent is like, no, you just have to read. You just have to do this. Hey, I'll beat you. I'll do,
Yeah.
But sometimes,
yeah,
they put fear in their children. I know a lot of children that are afraid. If you just say, hey, if you shout, they're already afraid. It's because they grow up being beaten, being shouted at, being told you're nothing. You can't do anything without me. You always need my money. So these kids growing up, they will have this dependence syndrome, and they will have this hatred of like, any person shouting at me is offending me. Some people, when they shout at you, they're trying to motivate you. But as long as you had a bad, upbringing, or a bad, like some of the words that came off badly, you just feel like everyone is attacking you.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not attacking, it's just the facts, or trying to help you, but people say things in a different way. So, hey, it's just a lot.
Okay. Now walk me through your worst business idea.
West. Sorry. The best, before we go to the West,
Okay.
the best there are a lot. Because like I told you, I'm one of the few people that can compete with Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
And not to mention Elon Musk, because that one I look upon him.
Elon is
But he's also, tell him I'm coming soon. So for the best as well, one of the best businesses that I've ever pulled was the money transfer business. Like I just felt like it happened for me, bro, because when these sanctions things for Russia came, MasterCard blocked, Visa card blocked, Western Union, all these things
banks
went out, and I was actually owing the university some funds, bro, a lot. I'm like, how am I gonna cover this? Then I'm like, no, there's supposed to be a way.
There has to be a way, yeah.
Then I found my magic for transferring money from one country to another country. It helped me. So I think it was one of the best businesses that I ever did.
Yeah.
Moving to the West.
We all have mess ups in life.
We
man.
always. My guy, the worst business I have ever done. I'm telling this to you and all those that are viewing. The worst that I have ever done is giving loans. That was the worst business I've ever done.
Loan shark. Yeah,
I wouldn't lie.
People with money are very.
I wouldn't lie. That business, I'm not saying it's the worst for everyone, but for me, it was the worst. For other people, it's good because they know how to control people who don't pay back. But what I would say to you, if you want to do this business, you have to have a tough mind.
And you just have to be tough yourself.
Yeah, you just have to be tough. And you have to have this other thing of like, I don't care. If I'm to beat you, I'll beat you.
Exactly. That's what I mean by you have to be tough.
They call it machonisa.
Yeah, even us, we call it at home machonisa.
So you have to be ready to be a machonisa if you want to be this thing of the loan sharks.
Yeah.
For me, I did this business, my brother. This thing of like I told you, I believe in my culture.
Yeah.
From my culture, we don't beat people. We speak to people. We respect people, But all the people that were taking money, especially like, students, it's so difficult.
Yeah.
When it comes to paying the money, if you agreed 30 days, it will come after 60 days. And the problem now, the money will be increasing every day because according to our terms and conditions, we say if you delay by 2 days, every day we are now charging a certain percent. So now when someone borrowed 30,000 and now they're supposed to return it as 120,000, it's a problem.
It's a problem, yeah.
And I lost a lot of money because you'll be calculating, saying, no, now I have 70,000 coming from this person that borrowed 30,000. And you'll be planning something to do with that money. Then they can't do it. And lastly, they can just say like, bro, to tell the truth, you can only kill me or do whatever because I don't have your money. I can only give you the money you gave me.
And that's all.
That's all.
Nice.
And you are not a bank. You're not a credit card.
Yeah,
you're not a Visa card.
You can seize. I think,
So I would say to those who do this business, be careful. Because you are not an ATM, you're not a bank account, you're not whatever. So I'm not dissing this business. It's a great business idea, but just be careful. Do more research, learn about it, know what to do, what to do, how to deal with these situations. Because each and every day, there's always someone trying to borrow money.
Yeah. That's fish.
And the percentage of them, the probability of them returning that money is so low.
Yeah, that's I noticed that's literally the heart of what banks do, right? Banks take and borrow out money. So for them, taking money is obviously easy, but who they borrow out money to is like the hardest task. And I think their banks also make investments, if I'm right. So they really spend a lot of time figuring out if you are the right person to borrow money to. And if a bank is doing that, how do you think as an individual you're going to not struggle with getting money back? If a bank is spending, they have departments just dealing with risk and compliance. They deal with assessing the risk of not exposing themselves to too much risk, by bringing on certain clients and taking on certain loans.
Someone just texting on WhatsApp, hey bro, I want to borrow 40K. Then no paperwork, no whatever. Nothing.
You with your just it's a disaster. It's a disaster waiting to happen, actually. Yeah. I just thought of a movie, actually. It's called The Big Short. I don't know if you've watched it. It's just a short movie plug. It's actually based on like debt and all. So The Big Short is a movie that covers the collapse of the US economy in 2008. I don't know if you remember the US recession in 2008. That actually led to a global recession. And at the heart of it, what turned out to be the problem was banks were giving out loans or mortgages to individuals who were not able to pay back those loans. So there's a scene actually in the movie where the guys who are actually doing this investigation and literally figuring out what's causing this they called it a bubble. What's causing this housing bubble? They were interviewing like a stripper, like a stripper at the club, a stripper. And this stripper was like, no, the bank gave me a loan to buy this much, and they didn't even need to check my credentials. They just saw.
Why though?
Because they thought the housing economy was so stable that it wouldn't collapse. Yeah. That's the long and short of it. I don't want to spoil it for you. But again, if you know a lot about the collapse of the 2008 global economy, you might know some things going into it. But it was just a great movie. Just check it out. I just thought about it.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
When I was thinking about debt. If you're interested in it as well, check it out.
It's on Netflix.
It should be on Netflix. I don't even remember where I watched it, but I probably watched it on Netflix. Yeah, The Big Short. It's a beautiful movie. Now let's talk about tech. You mentioned Elon Musk as one of the people you really look up to. He's a tech guy. And now I was reading, I don't know if you're active on Twitter.
Not that much, but now, as of this month, like for the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I've been.
I feel like Twitter is where global news spreads the fastest. And then I feel like Facebook is more for African news, right?
Yeah.
On Twitter, Elon Musk and a few other people were openly speaking against AI, artificial intelligence, or the fast rise of AI. We don't have much time, like you said. We want to wrap it up as fast. But what do you think about like AI in 2023? I know there's cool stuff happening in the space of AI. There's ChatGPT. There is Bing. Actually, Microsoft purchased OpenAI, the company that makes ChatGPT. There's also other cool AI products that are coming out. IBM is working on some stuff. Google's working on some stuff. I haven't heard of anything from Apple, but best believe I know Apple is somewhere. As a guy with a background in computer science and tech in general, what does this look like for you? Does it excite you? What does this mean to you?
Okay, before I explain, to add a bit.
Yeah.
I'm actually studying artificial intelligence. Masters in artificial intelligence. So now to come to your question now. Firstly, I want to be honest with you. Artificial intelligence right now, it's gonna keep on moving. And it might end up controlling the whole world.
Yeah.
So it has its advantages and its disadvantages.
Yeah.
I support it. But to another extent, I say it can be very dangerous if people fail to control it. If it's in the wrong hands. If the wrong hands, I mean. Why am I saying so? Because right now, as you can see, for example, even in education, I don't want to lie to you. Right now, the generation coming up, hey, I don't know if these kids are going to be studying or just be playing and using our monies,
Yeah.
All thing.
There's a post I put up yesterday and I wrote, Student of the Year goes to ChatGPT.
Yeah.
No one's learning. It's
Because I've noticed a lot of people, even articles online, you see many people are just going on ChatGPT, OpenAI, and just say, hey, hi, good day. Can you write me an article about a boyfriend breaking up with a girlfriend? It will write you even 700 words
yeah.
in an article. These people are just using anything. You have a question, you type this and that and that. Yeah, that's one of the disadvantages because people are no longer learning and all. But looking on the advantages, hey, I wouldn't lie to you. This thing, when you speak about machine learning, is improving in a lot of ways, especially like I told you, I support Elon Musk a lot. Me right now, I'm working on a project for the satellites and also rockets, but I'm studying artificial intelligence. So in this field, I'm trying by all means to develop my own program that will be helping all the people that manage satellites for different countries. Not these small satellites, but the big satellites that we launch to the space, It's difficult when you are sitting every day having to check like the coordinates, checking everything, checking the temperatures, checking the speed, checking how the orbit is flowing, how everything is moving every day as a human being, giving shifts, one night having to see is difficult. But how about we train a machine to be checking for us?
I want to do that and make
if there's something that a machine can't change or can oversee, then there'll be an alarm that will alert a person, our tech guy. You see? So I think it's a good thing, artificial intelligence, and that it's a good move.
Yeah.
It will reduce a lot of accidents, a lot of problems in hospitals. I see right now that many people trying to develop like artificial doctors. It's bad because maybe it will take jobs for other people, but looking on another, it will be more efficient because it's trained, it's taught more and more.
Yeah.
Back in the days, people would speak about robots only, and people would diss robots because people would say, no, a robot, it doesn't have a feeling.
Yeah.
It's not like a human being, so it will have mistakes. But now artificial intelligence, even if you see the robots with the artificial intelligence, zero mistake, and it will be even telling you like, trust me, in 2 years I will be better than a human being. That thing.
Yeah, I actually think artificial intelligence, the only way is up, right? Because the way these models are built, machine learning, deep learning, neural networks, and all that, the way these models are built is based on large quantities of data. And what we know about data is it only gets bigger with time. It only gets larger with time. So the more it learns on more data and more updated data and better data, the better it gets. And I also think that AI might actually create more jobs than we think it's taking away. It's just getting rid of the jobs that are so repetitive and have become so unnecessary nowadays in society, right? And it's also helping people do the current jobs they have even better. When I look at AI and programming, I don't know if you've read about like GitHub Copilot or any of that technology.
Yeah.
It's basically like a pair programmer that's with you and helping you identify bugs and maybe better ways of laying out your code. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to program without something that's fixing the bugs for me as I go.
Yeah.
What the AI won't do for you, it's not going to write you a program. It's not going to make an application for you. That's why
it will help you.
It'll help you because those things come as a result of human creativity. If there's anything that's hard to replicate, and I think AI has proved, it's human creativity. It's so difficult.
Yeah.
But I've also read about stuff like, do you know anything like DALL-E, or there's this one called, oh my days, I forgot the name. But it's a AI that generates photos and images.
Yeah, like the one that was used on there's a photo that was generated for Elon Musk.
Yeah.
kissing this other robot. I don't know if you saw
Yeah,
it.
exactly. That's the one.
And
Yeah.
there's another one that was done, like it was a video of this other guy, a programmer doing the SEX with a robot. Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm like, okay.
That's why I was saying sometimes it can be so dangerous. People are now using it in a bad way. People are now using it to do
other things.
But if we look in the good side of it as well, because sometimes we have to weigh the
Exactly.
advantages and the disadvantages.
Exactly.
In the stock exchange, artificial intelligence is helping a lot.
It's killing it.
No, it's killing so much.
Yeah. I think still on that. Now the important thing with artificial intelligence is giving it the right instructions. They've coined a term already. It's called prompt engineering, because you're prompting it, right? It has this large set of data. So tell it to give you something specific. That's a whole new job on its own.
Yeah, that's where we come, the people that are studying artificial intelligence.
You ask the right answers.
You
ask the right questions, you get the right answers. So, yeah, man. Exciting.
So, from your own side,
what
can you say? Artificial intelligence is good to the community, to the society, or maybe it's good for a certain region and bad for another region, or what do you think? What can be done for artificial intelligence to be better for everyone?
You see, like you said, something's only good if it's in the right hands. Other than that, if it's in the wrong hands, it's, detrimental. I have a pen here in my hands, and I can use it to write a book, and I can publish that book, and it becomes the best book in the world. Someone else can decide, I'm going to use this pen to kill people because it has a sharp point. It's in the wrong hands. And I think that's the same thing with artificial intelligence. If something is in the wrong hands, like you mentioned, it's not good. But overall, I don't know if anyone's making artificial intelligence for something bad. So let's look at the good that we can get out of it and focus on that. Now, what can be done, and what I kind of see being done, I kind of still do have some nuances about it, is regulation of AI. So the issue is already being discussed in the US, whether AI should be regulated, and if so, how. For me, I think the current issue that's also a big issue is where these models get that data from. Is it ethical and stuff like that? Because that's the real issue. Because especially with image generating models, I just remember the name of the model, Midjourney. I don't know if you've heard about it. You remember the photo of the Pope with the white jacket and he was dressed like
I've heard about it. I just read on Twitter.
Yeah.
But I didn't see the actual thing.
You didn't see it. I think it was generated in Midjourney. So apparently the data that was used to build that model was think of all the images that exist on Google and like compiled into like this model, and it's taught basically how to draw and how to make pictures. But the owners of these pictures were not being told that pictures are being used to teach the model. That's the current issue.
Apparently even the voice
AI, yeah.
Voice is now even one of the most dangerous things.
Issue as well.
You saw that people are now using it to scam other people.
Yeah.
Through calls.
Other people are even using like to create to make it seem like they featured a popular artist on the music, and obviously the song is gonna blow up if you hear, Drake was on this, Burna Boy was on this. I don't know if you saw that track that was trending for pretty much the past 2-3 months, I think, of the AI generated song with Drake and The Weeknd.
No, I didn't.
You haven't heard of it?
I will check about it.
I'll play it to you after this part, after we record here. That thing created so much buzz in the music space. And Warner Music, I think it's Warner Music, the music record label that owns Drake, they took it down. They pushed for it to be taken down.
It stopped. Memory.
Okay. It's okay. We'll just finish off
Let me just check.
with audio.
Let me
Okay, well, let's pause. Let's pause then. Great. So with AI, I think we have a long way to go. And I think with the right regulation, I don't know what that is, and also with the right type of AI, it's gonna skyrocket humanity into, greater heights. But on the other hand, if there's wrong regulation and it's used for the wrong reasons,
Yeah, of course.
yeah, it's gonna destroy humanity. It's gonna destroy society worse than we know it now. So yeah, man, that was. I think we can wrap it off from here because we can talk about a lot of things. Maybe we might have a second episode with you in it.
I think more.
Yeah,
A lot of
a lot
episodes,
more.
because there's just a lot to be discussed.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about.
Mm.
And in a few in a way to close, for you, what does the future look like in terms of where do you want to be maybe a year from now, 5 years from now? What are your ambitions?
Okay, firstly, what I really want to do.
Yeah.
Like, I always argue with some of my colleagues, like, what we can do to make our companies better, and
Yeah.
I've always have this idea of like, what's the reason of us having to buy internet from the Western countries or the European countries if we are also studying in Europe and we are learning the same things with those people, and them they are opening companies to do that? Why can't we also do it in our own countries?
Yeah.
So in 5 years coming, 5 might be small, maybe let's say 5 to 10 years, I see myself having one of the biggest internet providers for the southern region, and maybe even for the whole of Africa.
Yeah.
That's the first. And also the second thing, since I told you right now I'm working with the projects for satellites, I believe that Africa has the opportunity to be the best home on this planet Earth, where everyone will even rush to come. Land is going to be so scarce in Africa, because Africa, where we are going with the minds we have, right now we're talking about me, we're talking about you. There are many other Africans that have this pain of what they faced in the other countries, and they want to do that, to do the best in their own countries. And I'm telling you, in few years, Africa will be great again.
Yeah.
And will be providing many things. I want to see Africa having the best maps, the best internet services, the best roads.
Maps.
I
think about that a lot.
Especially maps.
Yeah.
GPS. Because every time when I'm looking on the most, like, the registered satellites in Africa, like last week, I was analyzing the satellite for Zambia and the new satellite for Namibia that just launched. I'm saying like there's a lot that need to be improved, but to tell you the truth, with the way these guys are working, Africa will be great.
You'll get there.
Because every country of these ones that they have more knowledge, they are fighting to teach Africans their own methods. Of course, it's political and we can't really go deep into it, but I can tell you, I see Africa far with me in that, that movement.
I already think Africa is the best home, man.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of any other place that has the most talented individuals I know that live in, arguably, I think, the most welcoming environment, mixed with the most honest and friendly people I've ever met in my life,
Yeah.
Sure, we have our bruises and scars and marks, and but that's every society, that's every culture, that's every place.
Every place always have something
Has
like
its
that.
own disadvantages, but I already think it's already there. We just need to, tweak the few little things here and there, and
But
we keep
let's
moving.
invite people to Africa.
Yeah.
People must come to Africa and see a lot, yeah? Guys, visit Africa. African countries are always the best. Like you always say, like, you guys, do you have the big Barbie? Africa is the best.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. Great episode. It was nice having you here, man.
Man, it was so nice being here with you. I really enjoyed it. Trust me.
Yeah.
It's only because of time, but I wish to be here again and to
me
speak
too.
about this. There's a lot to speak about.
There's a lot to talk about, eh?
So maybe I hope the audience, they can tell maybe the other topics that we must not look upon.
Yeah. If you feel we didn't discuss something to depth, please leave that in the comments so we can actually address it. And if you want us to discuss something you have particular interest in, shoot a comment, shoot a question. We'll see how we can take it from there. And I think it's going to be great. Yeah.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment. Send your grandma, grandpa. I know the babushkas did discuss.
You know what's up. Leave
Ciao.
a comment, leave a like, and we'll see you on the next episode. Soul Engineer out.